I'm back to talk more about cognitive load, specifically with The Beckoning Dream, my tarot card deck builder game. Now, back to before I cut myself off. When you're dealing with cognitive load in your game, you need to design around it. You need to think about it, even if you're not going to remove it. Having high cognitive load can give you a good game feel. It can feel very tactical and give the player a sense of power because yes, you're having to pilot an interesting, complex game. That could be a very good thing. People like crunchy mechanics. It's why Pathfinder exists. However, you need to give your players and your GMs space to relieve themselves from that cognitive load and take a little bit of a breather because it can be exhausting if a 4-hour session of gameplay is just nothing but on. And this is where Yanni was giving me some great advice about the rhythm of a game's cognitive load. What does the gameplay feel like in terms of like beats in music? And what he was saying was, and I think he was very accurate, is that right now, Beckoning Dream feels a lot of 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Really high cognitive load, lesser cognitive load, but definitely not off. High, low, high, low, high, low, or really high, medium, high, medium, high, medium. And that's a very good back and forth. That's a good energy. That's a really good flow state, but it can become tiring if you do it for too long. A good game will go 2-1, 2-1, and then occasionally like a 2-2, and then down into a 1-0, 1-0, maybe even 0-0. Nice lulls of activity to where you don't have to think so hard about what you're doing. When we see this in the D&D and trad spaces, it looks like roleplay sessions. It looks like shopping episodes. It looks like things where I'm just going to talk at you and do extended improv, and I'm not going to reference my character sheet except maybe when we think a role needs to happen to arbitrate the improv. And originally, Beckoning Dream didn't have a lot of that. Beckoning Dream didn't have a lot of just free-form improv. You were supposed to include the improv and include the narrative inside of each element of the mechanics. Mechanics and narrative were happening simultaneously, so it was like in my head, game design wise, I'm thinking, oh, well, there's lots of improv. There's plenty of chances for you to improvise what you're doing and to speak to the narrative and tell a story. Yes, but always under high cognitive load, high or medium. There weren't opportunities to have low cognitive load and still doing the freeform improv. And that was a missing piece. Now I've been developing mechanics, and at least if it's not mechanics, if it's not like a rule that says, do this exactly, do this procedure, though I'm putting some low cognitive loads of those ones in, but from a game design perspective, liberate yourself of the notion that everything needs to be mechanics. It's good to have mechanics. It's good to have low cognitive load mechanics, but it's also good to have intentional negative space where you just more like guidelines. So adding guidelines in where it says, "Hey, this is a chance to take a breather. This is a chance to sit back, relax, summarize what's happening, and just let stuff flow. Let your creativity be the lead rather than any sort of mechanical knowledge leading the way."